to they're about to be reacting to. The new NBA tanking rules are insane. I mean, how could you possibly make rules around somebody intentionally losing for a better pick? But let's see.
The NBA
Losing on
considered
purpose
many
at that.
plans to stop tanking, but now settled on a proposal for next year's draft. Goes to work immediately. Called the 3-2-1 system. Complicated
3-2-1 lottery.
as hell, but I'm going to break it down nice and simple.
Oh yeah, we
So
about to let me stretch real quick. Our noodle about to get a good exercise in. Let's
if you
see.
read the new rules, it's hard to understand. Like, the teams with the 3 worst records fall into the relegation zone, receive only 2 lottery balls each. The 7 remaining teams that miss the postseason entirely receive 3 lottery balls. The 9 and 10 seeds receive 2, and the loser of the 7-8 play-in game gets 1. In total, 37 lottery balls assigned to 16 teams. What?
37 lottery balls to 16 teams. So that means they can get like multiple first round picks? Bro, what?
If you're like me, you barely followed any of that crap. So to make it real simple, here's the breakdown. Look at this. A gigantic change to how the draft will work. Every
Current odds, new odds. So I guess it gives everybody a fair chance. Everybody from the 4th to the 9th or the 4th to the 10th seed a fair chance.
basically has the same odds to get the number 1 pick, except for the 3 worst teams. Don't want to be in that bottom 3 anymore. Goes from a
Wait. So the whole point of people losing on purpose is to get the better odds to get the first round pick. Now you gotta hoop, like you gotta hoop hard. If you don't hoop hard, then you're not even about to get the first 3 picks. That's kind of stupid, bro. I mean, I guess it's kind of good for the people that's coming into the league, so they don't get drafted to like bottom of the barrel team. But bro, what? Oh, what's wrong with my computer? Malfunction.
15% chance
There you go.
to 5.4%. That changes everything. Also, I feel bad for a team like the Rockets, who has all these other teams' picks they thought were going to be juicy, like the Nets and the Suns. Not anymore. But will this stop tanking? Well, it turns out this is just one of the new rules. The
Just
other
one
rules
of them.
add a poison cherry on top for the tankers. And one of them is no more top 5 picks in 3 consecutive drafts. And it turns out
No more top 5 picks in 3 consecutive drafts. So how would they dictate the people? Let's say they happen to do it. How they gonna pick the next person to get it? By random?
pretty common way to build a contender. The Spurs would not exist as we know them. Pistons, Cavs, or Rockets. Team building about to get a whole lot different, and there are even more
This is
rules that we need to
stupid.
get to. But the main criticism is, well, how are bad teams supposed to improve now? Especially
That's
in a
what I'm
small
saying. They
market.
just gonna fall off the map. Like I felt like how they had it before was perfect, cause you get a bunch of good people coming out of college and from that draft, wherever they coming from, overseas or whatnot. You putting them on the worst team so they can improve the team significantly. Is that not the best concept to whatever?
You know, I should have seen this Rockets Lakers beatdown coming. One of my best moments of the regular season, including right now, back coach, 10%, or have tankers ruin the sport. We will look back on
I
this
wouldn't
year
say they doesn't
as
necessarily ruin the sport. They just ass.
a tank year in the NBA, when tanking was as bad as it ever got. And the worst tank game of all time was
It's was it the Wizards or the Jazz?
Grizzlies. April 10th, both teams needed an L because a Grizz win meant a 7% drop in their odds
So they
of
both needed to win. So what, they just went up there and just chucked up bullshit the whole game?
top 4 pick. Jazz win, a potential 10% drop. A must-lose game. The Grizz lineup were
I never heard of a must-lose game.
guys they literally signed off the street.
Wait.
Players. The Grizz lineup were guys they literally signed off the
Imagine being in this situation to have to pay. Like you play a 10-game, a 10-day contract. You get signed to a 10-day, but you gotta go out there and be asked. So it's like if you be good, do your contract get voided, or if you ask, do your contract get extended? it gets weird. Bro.
Street. 4 players on a 10-day, 1 guy on a 2-way. Randos up and down, no offense. So first quarter, Derek Whitehead scores 16 points, gets benched, not to return until the Grizz were down 50 in the fourth. Memphis played just 6 players, and the guy off the bench was named Rupert.
Hey y'all, let me get an ad block when I get monetized. Don't worry about it. Just stay down until we come up, because we coming up real soon. You know what I'm saying?
They found a Rupert to play in an NBA game. Jemai Myshak had a quadruple double with turnovers. And
quadruple double with turnovers. He getting the extension. He getting the. Wait, no, the Grizzlies. Yeah, the Grizzlies lost. He getting the contract extension.
Minus 46. The exact number the Grizz lost by, because man played all 48 minutes. It was
Bro, this is stupid.
game in
You
history
so
with
ass you
3
get all the minutes so we can lose. Right.
triple doubles, 2 off the bench. We will never see this level of tanking again. But that's the norm across Adam Silver's NBA. On any given night, you would have a whole slate of games where we already knew the outcome. Like April 3rd, for example, one of the final Fridays, 7 of 9 games had tankers, so you knew who was gonna win. I watched the regular season. Yes, 7 of those games, 30-point blowouts. Average winner won by over 24 points, the largest differential on a packed game night in NBA history. Embarrassing. And every night, you guys
Bro.
oh, Adam Silver's ruining the NBA. So he puts in these rules and people are like, oh, he's gonna ruin the NBA. You'll have to do something. And the only risk is that Adam Silver is overcorrecting for 1 terrible year. Tagging's been a problem. This was by far the worst season ever. But it's because of the deep generational 2026 draft. 3+ guys who could change your franchise. But ain't nobody tanking for the Zachary Riza-Shea draft, no offense. And next year's draft's supposed to suck too. So is he overcorrecting with these new odds? But the new odds
Oh. Alright, hold on, I'm recording.
are just the beginning. The other rules include the bottom 3 teams can now fall way down the draft. So currently a top pick can only fall to number 5. Like, remember when the Pistons got unlucky and they fell to 5 like 3 times in their rebuild? Well, now it could fall all the way to 12th.
12 is crazy. Imagine tanking just to get a bad pick in the draft. That sucks.
So you can have a terrible season with almost nothing to show for it, not even a top 10 pick. Also, teams not allowed to pick number 1 in back-to-back years. Teams not allowed to pick in the top 5.
Teams not allowed to pick number 1 in back-to-back years. So do they just swap with the number 2? Teams not allowed to pick in top 5 in back-to-back years. So it's making my head hurt a little bit. So for the people that traded for draft picks, do those draft picks don't even matter? Like, does it not matter? Because let's say hypothetically the Bucks get the number 1 pick, but they already traded that to the Bulls. But the Bulls already won last year, so the Bulls can't pick up that number 1 pick, even though that's what they contractually signed. Like, bro, what?
3 years in a row. Teams cannot trade picks protected 12 to 15 anymore, and the commissioner can punish tankers more severely. Okay, but will it work? I mean, the NBA has tried all sorts of rule changes that failed to stop tanking. Why would this work? Well, first off, you do have to admit it will discourage tanking more than the old system.
For sure.
Obviously, you don't want to be bottom 3, and there's no difference in being 4 through 10. But the first problem is this basically nukes the play-in game. Look again at the odds. So if you lose the 7-8 play-in, you now get into the lottery with a chance at number 1. That wasn't the case before. Or you can get your butt kicked in the playoffs by the 1 or 2 seed. And now, if you lose the 9-10 games, you double your odds in the lottery. Why would you want to win the 9-10 and get into the 7-8, right? Because if you lose, you go from a 2.7% chance at number 1 to 5.4. It's almost double. Taking the play-in is real valuable now. You might just get rid of.
So what, they just gonna start a bunch of nobodies in the play-in? Like, oh, we don't want the championship this year. We just want a better pick for next year. We're not gonna win anyways. What, guys?
Play-in tournament, to be honest. But the safeguard against everything really is these new commissioner's power to punish. So Silver now has the option to reduce a team's lottery odds and or modify their draft position, which means he could be like, oh, you tanked the plan? Yeah, now you're picking number 16 no matter what. The problem with that, though, is
And they give him too much power over this shit, bro. Y'all get that what is he, a CEO or something, the face of the NBA, whatever you want to call him. Bro, what? So you can just tell my Bucks that, no, y'all got number 16 now because I said so.
Time. Teams are going to be all over you every other time. It's even borderline, right? Like, can you imagine if Adam Silver did that to the Hornets, but didn't do it with the Lakers? It would be a disaster. And that kind of already happened. Like, the Jazz got a $500,000 fine this year for tanking when they benched starters. And
you can get fined for tanking now? Since when?
You know, overt behavior like that prioritizes draft position over winning undermines the foundation of the NBA competition.
Not necessarily, because the draft position is going to be the reason why they win in the future. So it's like, you kind of contradicting yourself with that statement, buddy.
We'll respond accordingly.
How old is Adam Silver?
Further actions. Except he didn't. Literally the next 2 months, other teams were doing what the Jazz did left and right, and he didn't find any of them because everyone was doing it. Now, owners will vote on this proposal May 28. Report says it has a really good chance of going through. But I don't honestly think it's going to stop tanking. Been part of the NBA for now 42 years. The first example was 1984 when the Rockets intentionally lost a game at the end of the season to get the number 1 pick. It took Hakeem Olajuwon, 84 draft, greatest player in team history.
Damn.
And after that, the NBA then put in the draft lottery, but it didn't stop tanking because it works. Like, the Knicks were bad for Patrick Ewing. Spurs tanked 1 year for Tim Duncan. Cavaliers, LeBron James. T-Wolves, Anthony Edwards. But it is still a gamble, right? Like, the Sixers tanked for Markelle Fultz. In fact, their entire The Process era,
I don't even know who that
never even got
is.
to a finals. Or Cavaliers bad, they got Anthony Bennett. But overall, all the recent good young teams have tanked to get to where they are today, including the Thunder and the Spurs. So as long as there is a draft at all with odds, you will see teams trying to game the system for those odds. And yeah, the system is different now, so tanking will just look different. But maybe that's the best Adam Silver could do, so we never see a tanking year like this again. But speaking of the Rockets who started all this tanking mess, and speaking of a mess, their series against the LA Lakers.
Wait, so tanking originally started with the Rockets? Oh, you learn something new every day. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Honestly, bro, I think it's stupid. It's stupid. They should have just kept it how it was. Honestly, bro. How you gonna find the Jazz but not find everybody else? I see this happen often. People bench their starters all the time to avoid winning. But nah, I'm gonna catch you niggas in the next one. Yes, sir.